Hashtag AI reasoning capabilities explained, long-form script. You're using AI wrong. Not the tool itself, but you're not tapping into the reasoning capabilities that just changed everything about how these systems work. And today, we're walking through exactly what's different and how to leverage it. Here's the reality: traditional AI has been pattern matching on steroids. It processes information fast, but it doesn't actually think through problems step by step like humans do. That changed recently, and if you're not understanding this shift, you're leaving serious productivity on the table. Let me break down what's happening. You've been asking AI questions and getting answers. Sometimes they're brilliant. Sometimes they're confidently wrong. You couldn't tell which was which because the AI wasn't showing you its work. It was just throwing finished answers at you like a black box. You had no visibility into whether the reasoning was solid or if it got lucky. The new reasoning capabilities change this fundamentally. These updated models, and I want to be transparent here, are rolling out across platforms in 2025 and early 2026, with companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google DeepMind implementing extended reasoning frameworks. But instead of me guessing at exact dates, check their official documentation directly for the latest features in your region. What matters is this: AI can now spend more computational time thinking through complex problems before responding. It shows you the reasoning chain. You see how it got to the answer. When you open your AI platform, whether that's ChatGPT, Claude, or another service, look for the settings or model selection area. Most platforms now have a reasoning mode toggle or an advanced reasoning option. This isn't buried. It's usually right there in the interface. In ChatGPT, for example, you'll see model options at the top of your conversation window. You're selecting between standard response mode and extended reasoning mode. The reasoning mode takes longer to generate responses, sometimes 30 seconds instead of 3 seconds, but here's why that matters: it's actually thinking. Click into your platform settings or help documentation. Look for terms like extended thinking, reasoning mode, or deep reasoning. Different platforms use different terminology, but they're all pointing at the same advancement. This is critical. Don't activate reasoning mode for every question. That's like using a sledgehammer to hang a picture. Use standard mode for quick facts, summaries, content creation, and straightforward requests. Use reasoning mode for complex problem solving. Here's what that looks like practically. Standard mode question: summarize the plot of Inception. Reasoning mode question: I have 3 different investment strategies. Walk me through the trade-offs, risks, and which one aligns best with a 15-year time horizon and moderate risk tolerance, considering current economic conditions. Reasoning mode question: debug this code. Here's my Python script, and it's throwing an index error on line 47. Walk me through what's happening and why. See the difference? When you need the AI to genuinely think through interconnected variables, that's when reasoning mode earns its computational weight. If you're finding this valuable, hit that subscribe button. We post tech tutorials daily, and the next one breaks down how to actually prompt these systems so they show you their reasoning work. This is the stuff that separates people who use AI from people who master it. Here's where most people sabotage themselves. They ask vague questions and wonder why the reasoning isn't helping. When you're in reasoning mode, be specific. Give context. Show constraints. Instead of "how do I improve my business," try this: I run a SaaS company with 150 customers, $45,000 MRR, and a 2-person team. We're maxed out on support. What are our realistic options to scale without hiring significantly? The more data you feed into the prompt, the more variables the AI's reasoning engine can actually work through. It's not just thinking harder, it's thinking about something concrete. Open your chat interface. Type your question. If it involves multiple variables, trade-offs, or technical complexity, make sure you're in reasoning mode before hitting send. This is where the magic happens, and most people skip right past it. When reasoning mode activates, you'll see the thinking process before the final answer. Different platforms present this differently. Some show it in an expandable section labeled reasoning or thinking. Others stream it in real time. Claude shows it transparently. ChatGPT might put it in a collapsible box. Don't skip this. Read it. This is where you evaluate whether the AI's logic is actually sound. You might see it made an incorrect assumption about your business, or it missed a critical constraint you mentioned. You catch that in the reasoning chain, and you can course correct immediately. That transparency is the entire point. The reasoning isn't just better outputs, it's auditable outputs. Once you see the reasoning, you'll spot gaps. Maybe it assumed something incorrect. Maybe it weighted factors differently than you would. Here's your next move: don't ask the same question again. Engage with the specific reasoning. Say something like, in step 3 of your reasoning, you assumed the customer acquisition cost stays constant. But we actually have seasonal variation. How does that change your recommendation? This is where AI becomes a thinking partner instead of an answer machine. You're having a dialogue where both of you can see the logic. You can challenge specific steps. The AI can recalibrate based on your clarification. Click reply. Reference the specific reasoning point. This signals to the AI which part you want it to reconsider. Here's an advanced move: ask the same complex question multiple times with different framing. See how the reasoning changes. Ask it once as a business strategy question. Ask it again as a technical problem. Ask it a third time with different constraints. Compare the reasoning chains across all three. You'll see which approach the AI's reasoning engine handles most rigorously. This reveals which platform or model actually reasons better for your specific domain. You're not just getting answers, you're seeing how different AI systems think. Reasoning mode isn't perfect. Sometimes the AI goes down logical rabbit holes. Sometimes it makes unwarranted leaps. Watch for red flags in the reasoning: sudden jumps without supporting logic, circular reasoning where it restates the same point as proof, or assumptions that aren't explicitly stated. When you spot these, call them out. In your reasoning, you moved from point A to point B, but I don't see the connection. This isn't confrontational, it's how you improve the output. Now integrate this into how you actually work. For major decisions, hiring, strategy shifts, technical architecture, use reasoning mode. For routine tasks, stick with standard mode. Save your best reasoning mode conversations. They become templates. You're building a record of how AI thinks through your specific domain. That becomes invaluable. Create a document where you paste reasoning chains that worked really well for you. Title it something like AI Reasoning Templates for your domain. Next time you have a similar problem, you reference your own templates and refine them. Pro tip 1: chain reasoning questions. Solve problem A with reasoning mode. Use the output as context for problem B. Let reasoning mode work on problem B. You're building on previous logic. Pro tip 2: use reasoning mode for planning, then use standard mode for execution. Reason through the strategy once. Then quickly generate the tactics, scripts, and implementation steps in standard mode. This saves computational time and gets you faster outputs. Pro tip 3: compare how different platforms handle the same complex question. You're not just learning about reasoning, you're discovering which AI system actually thinks best for your specific use case. Pro tip 4: when reasoning goes deep, write down the key assumptions revealed. Often the assumption matters more than the conclusion. Those assumptions are where you can intervene with better information. We're at a moment where AI isn't just processing faster, it's actually showing its work. That changes everything about how you should use these tools. Stop asking for answers. Start asking for reasoning. Then build on that reasoning. The systems that can articulate their logic are the ones you can trust, refine, and partner with. That's not the future of AI, that's what's available to you right now. Remember, we help you navigate your tech journey with confidence. Subscribe for more tutorials that break down the capabilities nobody's actually explaining clearly. We post daily. See you next time.